After Niko Kovac got fired by Bayern Munich, we've whittled down the list for Stevie to have a go at the next 5 who are going to get sacked first. Lovely topic.
Great, aye.
We've got 8 here for you to go through. Right. Some obviously in the Premier League and some elsewhere about Europe. We're going to start with wherever you think the 5th most likely person is.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with 3 who I don't believe will get the sack.
Okay.
And these are Pochettino, Zidane and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't believe they will be sacked. However, there's a possibility that if they do leave the clubs, they will resign.
Right.
So I don't believe they'll get sacked, and that's why I'm not putting those 3 in the top 5.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair enough.
Right, number 5. For me, it really has to be Valverde. You know, we're talking about a side who right now are sitting top of the league. It seems crazy that we're suggesting that a guy whose team is top of the league is going to get the sack. But you wanted 5 and you're getting 5. And it really depends, as it will with a lot of these, on what goes on, in my opinion, in the Champions League. Number 4, I'm going to go with Tommy Tuchel. Because, again, there's no question he's going to win the league. And so he won't be gone because they're going to qualify through the group. But if he is to go, they're going to have to get knocked out in the first round of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So, again, Tommy Tuchel is safe for now, but only because the Champions League, the real crunch won't start till after Christmas, in my opinion.
Do you think it makes a difference whether he gets to the round of 16 or the quarterfinals for that?
No, I think he's going to have to get further than that, no question. And again, for me, PSG, they're not a team that have got rid of coaches mid-season. So I think regardless, he's going to probably end up seeing the year out. I would suggest he probably won't be with them at the end of the year, but not before it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So top 3 then.
Number 3, I am going to go with Lucien Favre. They're sitting second in the Bundesliga. Haven't been totally convincing. And even if they don't get through the group, they're in a group with Inter Milan, Barcelona. So if they don't get through it, and there have been previous years where they haven't gotten through the qualifying and they've ended up in the Europa League, and if that happens, I still think Lucien Favre will be safe. Now, for me, the key will not be what happens in Europe, it will be what happens in the Bundesliga. And if they drop, certainly out the top 3 in the Bundesliga, I think then questions will be asked. Again though, Dortmund are a side that don't get rid of their coach mid-season. So for that reason, again, for me, he falls into Tommy Tuchel. You know, they will keep him to the end of the year and then they'll look and decide then, but certainly not before.
It's so tight in the Bundesliga as well, isn't it? 1 week can change an awful lot and you wouldn't think that they would make a snap decision.
Yeah, like that. So it's about how they play and they're not playing particularly well right now. Number 2 has to be Unai Emery. You know, all the talk is right now that he still has some money in the bank to play with. But I would suggest the beginning of the year, depending on A, where they sit in the league, and B, how they're performing, particularly away from home, because since Wenger, nothing's changed away from home. Yes, they win at home usually, but away from home they've been desperate, and they're still desperate. So no question for me, he's number 2 on the chopping block.
Okay.
And this was the easiest one of all. Your pal. Yep. Marco Silva. I mean, he's hanging on. He's hanging on, and yes, they came back to get a point against Spurs, which is always looks good. But unfortunately for him in this game, he lost his best player. There's no question. André Gomez has been his best player by some way recently. And so they're in trouble in the league. They've lost their best player. You kind of wonder where the next win's coming from. I'm going to tell you that Marco Silva, for me, is hanging on.
Can't argue with that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's the top 5 as Stevie has it. It's always a changing game. We'll see what breaks this week. Keep it here at ESPN FC for the latest updates as always.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.